Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of our Snetterton Farm Challenge. Let me turn a flashlight on so I can see where I'm walking because I certainly would not want to step on anything that might be harmful to me, like maybe a snake or a shovel or something like that somebody's left out here. Anywho, welcome back. This is episode number 3 of our Snetterton Farm 24-day season challenge. And I'm having a ball. Really am. This has been a cool experience so far. Hopefully, I will not get burned out and get bored with it. And so, obviously, this is day 3. We're still in early spring. Obviously, 24 days will comprise each and every season that we have going on here. And we made a little bit of progress. So let me just bring up our map here and just show you that we worked mostly through the night last night and tag teamed on field number 17 and got it completely planted in grass. So we plowed, fertilized, plowed, and then seeded grass on field number 17 and sorted out, sold that other seeder, that bigger seeder that was part of the big bud pack. I guess these Kloss tractors, even though they are fairly powerful and even though um, they have the performance enough to handle that, there is still some sort of issue as far as performance goes. So we'll just live and why am I underground again? We'll just live and learn and see how that goes. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some things here on the farm. We're going to basically fertilize, and the boys are going to plow, and we're going to get some of our industry going now. Not a whole lot of it, just our compost mix master thing. We're going to get that going because we want to get our greenhouses going, and so basically we can get our greenhouses going pretty much as soon as we get enough manure produced in order to be able to do that. And so, but we also need compost for our greenhouses. These are a little bit different greenhouses than what we had on um, on the other challenge, the other situation there where we only had to put manure and water in. With these greenhouses, we basically have to put manure and we have to put compost and of course water. And so I had sort of pre-staged our fuel tanker and everything down at that field. And so we're going to just open up this gate here. And we're going to do a couple of these larger fields here because kind of what I'm thinking is that I can get Billy Bob and Jack to start plowing, and that'll sort of give me time to run some straw down to the compost mixmaster thing. I don't think that's really what it's called, but in any event, that's what we're going to call it. And so yeah, so we're going to do these two fields, 6 and 7. I'm going to basically fertilize them, and then we're going to get Billy Bob to work in here. So let me get out here and let me shut Billy Bob off for a moment. Although it looks like it's Billy Bob. Looks like Billy Bob is a girl now. Anyway, we'll just ignore that. And because you never know who you're going to get, right? You don't know if you're going to get a female or if you're going to get a guy character in these things. All right, so let's set our working width. Let's move this over a little ways here, and let's get going because we still have a lot to do. Now notice that our soil temperature is still at just 39 degrees. So it's still just a little bit too cool to plant anything other than grass, and I really think that we probably have enough grass to handle what our needs are. So what we'll do is we'll go down and come back, and then we'll get Billy Bob started to plow this field. And then once we finish this field, as far as fertilizing it goes, then we'll go get Jack and get him around here. Jack is going to be our late guy today, so Billy Bob arrived after just a few hours of sleep, was what we had last night. We got done about probably about 3:30 or so in the morning, and sent everybody home. Of course, both Billy Bob and Jack live nearby the farm here, and sent everybody home, and Had about an hour and a half or so of sleep, and Mom made breakfast this morning for all of us, and so here we are working again, very hard. Oops, wrong button. So yeah, we'll go back up the top of the hill here, and then we'll get Billy Bob started plowing over on that far left-hand side, and hopefully we'll then be able to go over and fertilize that other field, and then we'll haul some straw down for the compost mixer, get that going, and then hopefully within a few days we'll also have enough manure to haul some manure down there and get those greenhouses going. That would be my goal anyways for the next few days. Obviously the cows are producing both liquid slurry and solid manure. They're also producing milk, and I have not put the stock milk cell in yet because I wasn't sure if I basically wasn't sure if Stevie had already put that in. To be honest, we've got milk cell points here. Let me just fill that in there, and we'll leave that there, and then we'll come back over here and we'll get Billy Bob plowing. I wasn't sure if Stevie had already put the stock milk cell in, although I thought that he probably would not have done that, because I sort of think that it makes sense to have the milk cell points, but basically then require the user, if they want to have the stock milk cell put in, to do that themselves. And so clearly that is what he has done. So just FYI, in case you might be interested in playing this map, you do need to put the stock milk cell in yourself. So we're just going to basically get lined up here, and I'm going to go ahead and drop our plow down, and we'll plow just a few feet here, and then Billy Bob will take off, and he is done. So we're gonna skip out over here. All right, so let's see, the stock milk cell. So I have not put the stock milk cell in, but I did move our milk tanker over to the dairy, and I basically have some milk in it, and I will put the stock milk cell in later today, later in this game day, kind of after we probably finish this video and everything. Put the stock milk cell in, and that way we can haul milk. Maybe we'll haul milk like every couple of days, every couple of game days. You know, back in Paradise Hills, when I was playing that in Farm Sim 15, I got the idea from the Bipolar Prophet. And by the way, if you're not a subscriber of the Bipolar Prophet, or BP as I like to call him, then go over there and subscribe to his YouTube channel. You'll find a link to his YouTube channel down below the video in my show notes. But I got the idea from him and his storyline, and of course BP is probably BP and Eustace Farm are some of the best storytellers that I know of in the world of farm sim videos and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And so in his storyline, in the Bipolar Prophet storyline, he basically was only able to sell milk just a couple of times a week. And again, wrong button. I'll get these buttons figured out here. I think the reason why I'm a little confused on my button situation is that I did spend a little bit of time, I'm not locked in, I did spend a little bit of time playing Truck Sim yesterday. I'm recording this video on Sunday morning, the 20th of August. I'm trying to get a couple of these videos of the challenge recorded and available for you. I still have not worked out how it's going to be best to do this. I haven't posted at the time that I'm recording this video. This will be the third video that's going to go in the can, if you will. I haven't edited and rendered and uploaded episodes 1, 2, and of course this one is 3. So I have not uploaded those at this present point in time that I'm speaking to you. So you haven't watched, I think it was in episode 2 that I sort of asked you, polled the viewership and said, how would you like to, how would you guys like to kind of see this stuff? Do you want to see a condensed, you know, obviously an edited down, condensed version of each game day. So in other words, this will be a total of 96 game days that I will have to sit here and essentially play Farm Sim 17 for this map. Do you want to see a condensed 30 to 45 minute, maybe a little bit longer on some episodes if there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on, but essentially see 96 individual episodes that are edited, condensed, and available to you so that you can follow the daily progress as we sort of go through the thing here? Or do you want to see sort of a version that, let me just open this gate over here, oops, or do you want to see perhaps a situation where I let me scoot this over, where I basically play, obviously I've got to play every game day to make things happen, but do you want to see like like me do a recording every third or fourth game day in the game, and sort of, you know, bring you together, bring us all together and say, okay, well, this is what I was working on in this, you know, in this game day. So let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, you're going to be seeing episodes 1, 2, and 3, an episode for each game day. You're going to see that. You may even see 4 and 5 if I get a lot of suggestions that, you know, you guys want to see sort of something like every third or fourth day or something. Obviously, it may take a little while before I hear that from you, because I'm going to continue to do, I think, daily updates or daily videos based on gameplay, at least for a little while anyways. So we're going to go up to the top of the hill here, and then we're going to go and check and see if Jack has arrived. I'm pretty sure he has, and unfortunately Jack needs to wait for us to give him some instructions, because I forgot to give him the keys to the tractor. So I need to go and unlock the key box so that he can get his tractor. So in other words, instead of tabbing up there and getting the tractor and bringing it down here, we're gonna drive up there, which is a bit unfortunate, because, you know, I am trying to play this without tabbing through vehicles and everything. But, you know, clearly on a type of operation that I run, where I've got good guys like, you know, Jack and Billy Bob working for me, you know, these guys would show up and they would do their own thing, so without having to be supervised and having to be told, which I've got to admit is, let me pull up just about right here, which I've got to admit is one thing that, you know, going back and talking about Cattle and Crops, you know, Cattle and Crops was supposed to have the feature of, Cattle and Crops was supposed to have that feature where you could basically assign tasks to your AI workers through maybe a HUD of some kind, and we wouldn't have to, and I don't know how that would work with say, for example, modded maps, but essentially, you know, the idea or the premise of what I understood it to be was that, okay, come on, Jack, was that, you know, essentially you assign a task to an AI worker, they leave the field, you know, and go and perform the task. Now, I don't know if you could see them actually working, like obviously we can see our hired workers working. I don't know if it was to that level of sophistication or not, but in any event, would certainly be nice to do that. Okay, so we can take him off, follow me, and back Jack up here. And we'll get Jack started to plow. These, you know, I don't know, you know, I have not edited episode number 1, so I haven't decided what is going to stay and what is going to go as far as stuff, the material in the episode itself. But I'd initially had a little bit of problems with the class tractors and courseplay. And okay, Jack, go ahead and go. Thank you, buddy. But it appears that those issues, basically the standard hire a worker in Farm Sim 17 worked fine with those Kloss tractors. So I really am appreciative to my buddy Duck Zorley for turning me on to those tractors, because they're pretty cool. I like them. I like them a lot. All right, so we are going to lock in here, and we're going to turn on our spreader, and we're going to go ahead and start spreading fertilizer. So I tell you what I'm going to do to shorten this and condense this episode down just a bit. I'm going to join us, come back together once I am done fertilizing this field. I'll see you in a few seconds. All right, well, welcome back. We are headed down to the compost mixing plant, and we will head down there. And I think I might remember how to get there. We will get to go across the road here. This truck has a little bit of shimmer and shake to it in the inside of the cab that I certainly don't notice with other vehicles. I don't have Track IR on, so it's not that, but it does have a little bit of shimmer and shake to it, and kind of when driving it at night, the lights, the illumination of the dashboard is also a little weird as well. But overall, it's I like these trucks. They're good. They're a good sort of utility type vehicle to have, especially with the accessories that you can sort of put behind, mount onto the bed of the truck. I wanted to use the fuel. We're going to go ahead and pass this guy here because he's driving like it's Sunday on a Wednesday. But I wanted to use the fuel container for this truck, for the AR type mount vehicle. But unfortunately, the compost mixing station would not take that, would not accept that. So I tested it. I have this map on another game save that I actually started playing it. This was going to be, I was going to just play this map sort of off camera and not bother with doing a let's play on it initially. And I put that on a gameplay probably about 2 weeks ago. And then the challenge came up, and of course I was a bit far along with everything. I think I turned the wrong way. I did. I turned the wrong way. Sitting here talking and not paying attention to what I should be doing, and I'm going the wrong direction. So anyway, I put this on a game save, and I was sort of playing it and testing it and taking a look at it and everything. And then the challenge idea of the challenge came up from Farmer Klein, so I decided to sort of start it over again. And obviously, I have it on a different. Yeah, we want to go down to the far corner down there where produce says. So we want to basically keep going is what we want to do here. Anyway, so I had checked that out, and I had tested it on that game save, and realized that it wouldn't work. So it does require the Cote universal pack, and of course milk is the same way. So it's a bit unfortunate. It would be nice if some of these things could be somewhat, universally accepted, universally functional. Now we're pulling this down here, obviously with the semi truck pulling a regular tractor mounted tipper. That's the advantage of getting the hitch mounted on the back of this truck, because that way we can use the truck to get down here. The truck is a little speedier, I believe, than say a tractor. So hopefully when we put this in there, the compost plant will fire up. It's already full of fuel. We sort of set that up in the as we were setting up the map and getting the map ready to go. So we set that up, like I said, in advance. And so we'll get this running, making compost, and we'll probably bring another load of another load of straw down. Straw is kind of what we have the most of left over from last year, and I have already sort of forgot which way I need to go. That would be right, Jerry. So we've got compost, or I'm sorry, we've got straw left over from last year, an abundance of it. So that will help us out and get us going while our cows are producing manure. We'll just take this shortcut through here. And I'll meet you back at the farm. All right, we'll haul this load of straw down. You might have seen those tractors there. Those were the tractors that we were seeding with. We pulled them in to give them a wash and everything, just so that we don't have to worry about contamination, field contamination, soil contamination, or whatever after planting grass. We certainly don't want to introduce any grass seeds into our regular fields, into our fields that we're going to be planting as soon as the soil temperatures come up a bit. We are going to wait, at least for now, we are going to wait until the minimum soil temperature is where it needs to be as far as the target is concerned before we bother seeding. Now, I sort of explained, I think in episode number 3, that if you think that the soil temperature will come up, then you can certainly go ahead and plant before it hits that minimum temperature, if you will. But the problem is I've never played a 24 game day season before, and so I'm really not sure how long it's going to be before we see that soil temperature come up. So obviously we've been at 39 degrees for 3 game days, and so we need a minimum of 41 for the seeds to do their thing, and so we are still a few degrees off of that. So I'm not going to turn left here, I'm going to turn right, which is the correct way to go to the compost facility. It's just right over here. And I think that by the time we get back, after we dump this load of straw, I think that by the time we get back, Billy Bob will have been done with his field. As a matter of fact, he just radioed in, and so he's awaiting instruction. And again, a little bit, unrealistic in the sense that I've got to go all the way back and tell Billy Bob what to do. By the way, Billy Bob doesn't like to be told what to do in respect to that, but it is what it is. And so here we go. So this is our second load of straw. This will hopefully, I'm sure it should be 1 for 1, so we should get 100,000 liters of compost out of this process, out of this plant. And I think for now anyways, this will be all the straw that we bring down, at least for right now, for today. We'll consider bringing some more down, but it really doesn't do us any good to bring, I suppose we could bring down more straw and keep, have the plant can basically go offline when it's out of straw. We're not going to be concerned about necessarily keeping it going unless we absolutely need compost. But right now we can't do anything with regards to the greenhouses until we have enough manure. Now I could put the manure buy point in. If the cows are going to be very, very slow at producing manure, then that might be an option just to get our greenhouses up and operational as soon as possible. But we're not playing this challenge to determine who makes the most money. We're just really, the whole nature of the challenge, if I'm honest, and I think that that's where many of the others are going to agree, is that now, of course, I will say this: the others are taking many different approaches to the play. Some folks are doing it more in career mode. Reefy 1952, Mike Meerman, he is, and by the way, hi Mike, thanks for watching my videos. Mike is doing it sort of old school and doing it almost career mode, in the sense that he's doing small tractors, small equipment, I think relatively small fields. I haven't seen an episode of his yet, but that is on my to-do list. I enjoy watching Mike's videos, and I hope that you'll subscribe to him. He is listed down below my video as well. But really, the whole point of the challenge in and of itself is just to essentially be able to say, I survived. I survived 24-day seasons. I survived playing this map for roughly 96 days, 96 game days. And so I think that's how we're all going to celebrate. And of course, others will have put a little bit more harder effort into it, because obviously I've sort of pre-staged a lot of stuff. I've kind of gone into this with big money and that sort of thing. So I think what we will do is I'm just going to pull out in front of. Oh, cool! He came up to the top. We're going to go and get. We're going to go get Billy Bob here. Looks like actually change of plans. Change of plans. Change of plans. Let's get. Well, Billy Bob's going to do the work because Billy Bob got here first. Did he get? Yep, he's completed his task. Okay. So what we're going to do is do this. So I sort of pre-staged this, thinking that we were actually going to be able to maybe also plow and fertilize this field as well. So I went ahead and set us up here. So get this going and lock me in, and off we go. So we will do one row and I'll come back up, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we have finished up with the fertilization, and we've got both Billy Bob and Jack working again at plowing. They do a pretty good job, so we're going to let them just continue to do that. We are going to go on our first milk run. Hopefully we will have a full tanker to deliver. If not, we'll at least figure out where the milk drop point is and figure out how to get in there and everything in order to do that. So again, we've just parked our milk tanker over here by our dairy, and we're just going to back up to it and go ahead and fill it up. Now, a little unrealistic, I did fill the milk tanker up right before midnight of the previous game day, just to verify if the stop milk cell was in place. Of course, it was not, so we will do that. As a matter of fact, I suppose we could do that right now if I have it active, placeables. If not, I'll have to activate it and stick it in here later. Milk fill trigger, milk fill cell. We don't need that. We need the stop milk cell. There we go, right there. The stop milk cell. We'll put this guy. We'll spin the sign around. Let's see. Whoops, not over there. Spin the sign around. Can't be placed there. What do you mean it can't be placed there? Actually, this sign can be placed anywhere that it doesn't have to be right at your dairy. So we're just going to stick it off out there, out so it's out of the way, and because we don't want to advertise our milk cells up here. I don't know what, I think it says something about milk cells or something in German, I think is what it says. But it doesn't have to be near the dairy. It can be anywhere on the map. Just by placing it anywhere on the map, in any place, wherever you have room for it, or wherever you can get it to go, it will stop the milk cell. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go and sell our milk. This is our first load of milk that we've delivered. Now, of course, we had milk that we sold at midnight on game day 1, and we had a small amount of milk that we sold last night, but this is the first time that we've actually delivered milk. Now, I also want to apologize, because in the first 2 episodes, well, actually the first 3 episodes, because you guys will want to go back and watch episode 0, the introduction episode, to get the word of the day, the code word of the day. I am doing the code word of the day. Milk cells is down by the bakery, so I think our best bet is going to be to go right and then take our first left. So anyway, I did not announce, I forgot to verbally announce the code word of the day. I did put it in text. It does show on the screen for both episode 0, episode 1, and episode 2 of this series. My apologies. I'm slapping myself on the wrist. Shame on Jerry for forgetting to verbally announce the code word of the day. We are going to do the code word of the days we're going to do a code word for each day, is what I'm trying to say, for these episodes up until we get close to November 6th. Remember, November 6th was the date that I was going to do the drawing. So actually, let's just say November 1st, or actually let's do through October 31st, okay? So videos through October 31st of Farm Sim 17 of this series will have a code word of the day. If I forget to verbally announce the code word of the day, then I will put it on the screen so that you can see that. And let me just kind of think here where we need to go. Bear with, bear with. It looks like Milk Cells is back behind this bakery, so we'll go this way, and we're going to pull out in front of that car because we can. And let's see, obviously this is not the bakery, that's where our eggs go, milk delivery right there. And look what they've left us on the doorstep. That's a nice bonus. We'll try not to hit that lady there. So the code word for today is going to be, let me stop talking here a second where I can back this thing up. That lady got me all confused there. There we go. So the code word of today is milk run, milk run, and we're going to jump out and we're going to go and grab this gold nugget, because if we don't grab it, then somebody else will, I'm sure. So I don't know if, and no, we're not pouring our milk out on the ground. It's magically going into that spigot there. We're obviously, and I talked about this, I think, earlier. We're not, the challenge, the winner of the challenge or whatever is not necessarily on who who has the most money when the challenge is over. It's really all in the nature of having fun, surviving a 96 game day gameplay. And so if we happen to stumble on 8 more nuggets, I have picked up one, but if we have stumbled on 8 more nuggets, then I'll consider picking them up if I see them laying around. And if for whatever reason, if over the 96 game days, if we can collect all 100 of them, then we'll do that. But it's not going to be something that's going to be critical to us, because we started with 2.5 million, and I wasn't paying attention when we sold that milk, so I'm not sure how much we actually made on that. But we started with 2.5 million sort of in our slush fund, in our operating capital, if you will. That was what we were going to pay labor, buy fuel, buy seeds, buy fertilizer, that kind of stuff. And so, we're still right at about that number, even though we've been buying seeds and buying fuel and such. So now I will and again, money. This whole challenge is not about money. It's not about he who ends the series with the most money is going to win anything. That's not what this is about. But I did sort of, when I was setting the map up and putting all of our equipment and everything in, I did pre-stage the fuel for the compost plant. I did pre-stage that, and that came out of the magic money that bought everything else, bought all the fields and bought all the equipment and everything. So that did not come out of our 2.5, but any additional fuel that we do put into the compost plant will obviously come out of the 2.5 initial seed money, if you will. So we'll go ahead and carry our milk tanker back here to our dairy, so that it helps to. I'm sort of a creature of habit. I like to keep things. I like to return things where I found them. It makes it a lot easier to do it that way. And I'm going to sort of take the easy approach here to backing up this trailer. We're just going to go out here and see the girls and make a big spin around here and then come back around. And we're going to drop this trailer right at the point there, because that way all we have to do go. And there's a gold nugget right there on the ground. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab it while we're here. Might as well, right? And that's number 3. So that's number 3 out of 100. But again, it's not gonna matter. And so, all right. Did we hit the spot there? I think so. Yeah. All right. Let's just let me just glance at our animals right quick. We need to go and see what the boys are doing. They're all okay on food and stuff. I will probably off camera do the feeding runs and stuff like that. I may do that this evening because we've got a little bit of time. But let's go see what the boys are doing. Hopefully they are finished with their plowing jobs. And sort of again, I can't remember if I said what my strategy was until the soil temperature comes up, but basically we're just going to continue to fertilize and plow the fields that we plan to use, or that we plan to have. So we're just going to do that until soil temperature comes up, and then most likely, because again I'm sort of a creature of habit, I tend to start planting wheat and barley, canola, kind of in that order. Let's see where he might be. Don't want to drive on the field because he did a good job plowing it. Again, these guys just leaving these tractors in the field like this. Yeah, looks like he got finished all right. All right. So obviously I have, I've moved some equipment and stuff around off camera. I may do some of that just so that it doesn't get, so that I'm not constantly coming down here and moving stuff around and you guys having to sort of watch that in the recordings. Again, I do try to be cautious about repetition, because I think that I'm going to swing out here just a little bit over his freshly plowed field, because otherwise he's going to have a difficulty getting lined up for that gate. I do understand that seeing the same thing sort of over and over is a bit boring, to put it mildly, and I want to make sure that I try to eliminate as much of that as possible for you guys. Because again, there's no need in you guys kind of seeing some of the same stuff over and over and over like this. And is he coming, or did he get stuck in the fence? Looks like he got stuck in the fence. I didn't swing wide enough. I should have swung and went down into the field just a little bit, because that's a pretty good size. Yeah, you're trying, I see. That's a pretty big, it's a pretty big plow, and it's a pretty big tractor. And so those things combined means that it's a pretty big piece of machinery to try to swing through a gate like that in short fashion. We'll just get these out here in the yard. All right, let's get in our truck and we will go and find out what Jack is doing. He should be done. actually. Looks like he's right there, so I don't even need to drive over there. Let's just leave this guy right here. And I don't know, can we hop the hedge? There we go. Who says I'm not athletic enough to do maneuvers and stuff like that anymore? I got to tell you guys a funny story, and then I'm going to let you all go. So yesterday was Saturday, the 19th of August, and we'll kind of clean up for him right here. Yesterday was the 19th of August, Saturday the 19th of August, and I went to go get a haircut. And I go to, I'm not going to mention the name, but I go to a place. It's one of the lower cost hair chains in the U.S. It's not the fantastic one, but it's another one. And the cool thing about it, the reason why I like it, is because, for one, they must have about a dozen. Well, probably not a dozen. They probably have about 6 or maybe 8 locations in my immediate area. Okay, so, and I say immediate area, I say within, say, a 10-mile radius of me. Okay, and I sort of live in the south part of Denver, near the tech center, near I-25, I-225. And so they have an app that I can launch on my smartphone, and I can check in. Okay, so not only can I check in, which is almost like getting a reservation or booking an appointment, I can also look and see. It shows me a map, and it shows me the wait time, the approximate wait times per location. Now, Billy Bob, you didn't do a good job here. It shows me the wait times, approximate wait times per location. So the cool thing about that is I can check in. I can check in. Let me back up here and see if I can do a better job. I'm complaining about Billy Bob's plowing and missing this entire row, and I'm not doing that great of a job myself. Anyway, so I call, or I check in via the app, and I show up. My wife had an appointment at another location, so I dropped her off, and I go over there, and I wait. I have to wait a little bit, and of course it's right before school starting and everything. Now I don't know why he forgot this or missed this spot here, but he did. Anyway, so I go over there, and the other cool thing about it that I like is that they know what your preferences are. Okay, so I have put in the computer, or somebody had put in the computer that I like a clipper cut on the sides with a I think it's 2.5 blade, and then blend the top end sort of to match, but leave the top with about 1.5 inch length of hair. And so the gal is cutting my hair, and I'm a bit tired, and I had a headache as well, and so I was kind of sitting there and not paying as much of attention as I should have. And my gosh, I guess she misunderstood me, and I guess she missed the inch that I said, 1.5 inches on top, and she more or less cut me down to about 1/2 inch remaining. I haven't had this short of hair since probably I was about 5 years old, and so what a nightmare. So needless to say, I'm going to have really short hair. People are going to look at me awfully kind of strange, I think, tomorrow, Monday, when I go back to work, and I may actually wear a ball cap. And I sort of told my wife, I said, well, if I need to go outside for any reason, I'm probably going to need to wear a cap if I'm going to be outside for any length of time if the sun is shining really bright, because yeah, it's sort of that short that I think the top of my head would burn. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I've already told you what the keyword of the day is. And so I'll try to remember to get back in the habit of making those verbal announcements for that. And my apologies on missing the others. I do apologize for that, but I'm only human. And I hope you'll return again very soon and watch another episode of either Snetterton Farm, Farm Sim 17, or any of the other things that I'm putting out on my channel. I appreciate you guys watching. Take good care of yourselves and each other. God bless you all. Come back here again very, very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.